Drivers nationwide are fretting over increasing gas prices, and now airlines say they are feeling the pinch. Delta CEO said that jet fuel prices have increased dramatically since the war in Iran broke out.
Jet fuel prices have almost doubled just since the start of the quarter, and that's a fairly significant hit for us, about $400 million in the quarter. That said, the demand strength has been really, really great. There's been a number of fare increases just in the last 2 weeks. The industry, Delta's brand is really strong. And so when you have that level of resilience, you have that strength of pull for demand, customers understand if fuel prices are up, it's cost doing business. It's incumbent upon us to figure out ways to recover that.
These comments come after CEOs of the nation's top airline companies are imploring Congress to fund DHS and end the partial government shutdown. And new this morning, the TSA's acting deputy administrator is also warning that some smaller airports may even be forced to shut down. Not a good situation here. Let's go live now to CNN senior business reporter David Goldman for more insights. So, David, fuel prices have been soaring since the end of February. Walk us through how this is hitting the airlines and how it could trickle down to the consumer.
Yeah, well, you heard Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta, say that for Delta, they might be able to weather this. They cater to a somewhat higher-end customer, somewhat wealthier customer, but he also made the point that for other airlines, this might hurt sooner rather than later, and they might have to raise prices sooner rather than later. If Delta is already raising airfares over the past couple weeks, you know that other airlines like regional airlines, discount airlines, they're going to start to raise prices for customers as well.
And you have some new reporting, David, on what else could get more expensive because of the war. Where can we expect to see these increases beyond what we're seeing at the pump and potential flights?
Right. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz, as we've been talking about, is locked down. About 20% of the world's oil comes through there, but that's not the only thing. All other ships that don't carry oil but carry other products are also stuck in the Persian Gulf, and they carry things like helium, aluminum. They carry food, they carry fertilizer, which is a key ingredient for food. Food prices could start to surge as well. And one of the other things is natural gas. And remember, our electricity runs on natural gas. One of the big power sucks is AI right now, and natural gas powers that. So all of that could compound and make prices a lot more expensive for people.
Jet fuel prices have doubled, he said, since the war on Iran began. What kind of pressure is this putting on the industry?
Oh, yeah, no, there's no doubt it's pressure. I mean, the hope is that the jet fuel prices, the increase that you're going to see, jet fuel is about 25% of the cost of putting an airplane in there on the operation. So it's a very large amount considering the overall operation. So when that doubles, unfortunately, you're going to see ticket prices go up. The good news is this. Ticket prices, domestic airfares, are as low as they've ever been, right? Even before this increase on jet fuel. So it's more affordable than ever be. Oh, yeah. Oh, domestic air travel has gone down 3% since 2019. Nothing else in America has dropped 3% in average price since 2019. Everything else is up 30%. So yes, this is a spike. We want it to be temporary until you secure the Strait of Hormuz. We're really not going to get there. Hopefully that gets done in the next 45 days, and any sort of price increases are temporary bumps. We're seeing a lot of people booking into the summer right now. So that's a very positive thing. But yeah, if this issue in Iran were to go beyond Memorial Day or something like that, then the way I put it is the pricing would get a little stickier, right? You'd probably see it last not just through the summer, but maybe even into the fall. So everybody understands, whether it's shipping a product to a grocery store or paying the jet fuel prices on an airline, America needs to see the resolution in the next couple months here in Iran.
Let's get some expert perspective on what's ahead here. Patrick DeHaan is with us now. He's the head of Petroleum Analysis at GasBuddy. And I wonder, Patrick, as you hear the president trying to say the timeline here is kind of short, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he's indicating here, how industry is seeing this, because you have allies of the U.S. saying they're not going to help secure the strait, at least so far, and a regime figure in Iran suggested the strait isn't going to be safe for ships anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think we've rounded the corner yet. This remains an active issue that will likely continue pushing oil prices up until there is clarity. Actions speak louder than words. Until we physically see ships transiting through with their ADS transponders on, the market is not going to view this as sufficient, no matter what the lip service may be. Until we physically see those oil tankers and other ships going through the strait, we're going to continue to see this massive disruption. I mean, it's basically one of the largest ever in terms of this waterway, the strait being the most vital waterway to the global oil markets. 20 million barrels a day essentially stuck. Not being able to transit through the Strait of Hormuz is having a massive impact on global markets. And it's not just oil, it's fertilizers, petrochemicals, and of oil, it's not just oil, it's what we're all paying for at the pump. The national average now $1 a gallon higher than where it was just over a month ago. Diesel prices reaching $5 a gallon for the first time since 2022. And that's the hidden tax on consumers. Not only are consumers digging deeper to fill their tanks up, but the next time they go to the grocery store, the next time they bid out a construction project, the next time they buy food, they may see a higher price because all of that trickle down of this huge jump is going to impact them. And by the way, the numbers this morning, GasBuddy now seeing this is the largest 14-day spike in the price of diesel, even beyond what we saw in 2022.
That's significant. And you mentioned those other kind of knock-on costs, right? But also let's talk about air travel, because Delta CEO said they have already raised airfares several times over the past couple of weeks. Jet fuel prices have actually doubled since the start of the war, adding about $400 million to Delta's costs, is what Delta's saying. What can air travelers expect here in the months ahead?
Well, anyone looking at the summer travel season and looking for a trip abroad certainly is going to be hit the hardest. It's those long haul flights that consume the most amount of fuel. I already compared an airfare I had booked prior to this to Europe late in the summer after the shoulder season, and it's 21% higher. Airlines have no choice. It's either their financial future or they pass these increases along. So, certainly going to be a major hit to any summer travel. The U.S. three biggest airlines don't really participate in fuel hedging like their European counterparts. That means that they're buying the fuel on the spot market at a much, much higher price, and they will be shouldering the entire jump, whereas some of the European airline competitors may have already pre-bought their fuel at lower prices. They may be less price sensitive, but any way you slice it, anything, logistics, shipping, airlines, we're all going to be paying far, far more for this, in addition to the costs that we're already seeing at the gas pump.
And Patrick, Iran is threatening U.S. naval facilities in the Red Sea, which is home to several Saudi ports that handle oil exports. They've been increasing their exports from that coast, sort of as compensation here. How is the industry viewing this threat? Do they think it is real? Are they preparing for this?
Well, I think it's something you have to prepare for at this point, although the first attack would certainly be the most shocking if they go through with this. As you mentioned, oil shipments have been rerouted into the Red Sea. Saudi Arabia, one of the world's largest oil producers, having the east-west pipeline essentially connecting the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea. And that is now a lifeline to at least reduce the potential impact of the block that we're seeing in the Strait of Hormuz. So to see something like that would be a major escalation, and I would have to think that the Saudis would act if this is something that's carried out.
And Iran's Karg Island, that could be a significant source of leverage to combat this Strait of Hormuz issue. The president said yesterday the U.S. has literally destroyed everything on Karg Island, except, he said, the tubes, I think he said, or the pipes, the island's oil facilities, he meant. He left the door open to targeting those as well. What happens if those facilities get hit?
If they do get hit, Iran has nothing to lose but continue attacking and creating chaos in the strait. So the president would be escalating the situation because we know it would likely draw an Iranian response. I mean, this is where the majority of Iran's oil flows out to the market. And attacking this would likely surely destabilize the price of oil for not weeks, but potentially months beyond this. Iran will have a long memory and certainly will go after U.S. assets and the price of oil indiscriminately. And that could certainly escalate this to impacting gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel prices for a far longer period of time. At that point, I would think that records could be set in the U.S. If the U.S. does carry out an attack on that island. It could send gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel prices to potentially all-time record highs, along with the price of oil certainly could get close to those record highs as well.
It's an ominous thought there. Patrick DeHaan, thank you so much for your analysis.